Hey chicas, one thing that I forgot to talk about. When I went today to see the specialist, what he said, it's just, sometimes when you think about it, I said, what? Did he say that? So what he said to me is, if I decide to go for IVF, I may I don't know how to put this. When you go for IVF, you go with all kinds of medication to stimulate your ovaries to make as much eggs as possible. So what they do, they retrieve those eggs and then they fertilize those eggs with your partner's sperm or with donor sperm, and then they wait 2, 3, 4, 5 days to see how the embryos they progress. So sometimes some people, depending on your age, some people you can retrieve 10, 15, 20 or more eggs. So when you fertilize all those eggs, and you put the 3, 4, 5 days after the fertilization to see how they progress, and some of them die in the process. So by the time they do a transfer, if you had 10 eggs fertilized, you may have 2 who died, or 3, 4 who died, who couldn't survive the freeze or the process, and you left with less. So some people, they implant 1 or 2 and they freeze the rest, because if you're young, you think maybe later on you want to have other kids, and there you go, you can have your frozen embryos to transfer again. And when you do that the second time, it doesn't cost you as much, because you do not have to go through egg retrieval and all the medication and all this shebang. So you just go and they do maybe 1 or 2 medication, meaning they give you some estrogen and progesterone just to get things started, and they do the transfer. But what the doctor told me today is, if I decide to go with IVF, I may not have anything to freeze, meaning if I do it the first time, it doesn't work. The second time around, I will have to do the same thing again, meaning buying a lot of medication, trying to stimulate over and over my ovaries to have eggs, and then to do the transplant and all that. So it is an expensive proposition, where if you are younger, you have much more eggs, you do it the first time, it didn't work, and thankfully you had 3 or 4 or 6 or 10 frozen, you can just go and they can do a transfer for sometimes $1,500, $2,000, depending on where you are. But when you don't have this option, when you are as old as I am, 42 today, happy birthday to me. So it is very expensive. So it's a process you have to do over and over and over and over. I was not happy with him saying that, simply because he's not God. He's not God. He cannot predict how many eggs, I will produce. With the medication, everybody reacts differently on medication. So I don't want to take it too personally, because he's doing his job, and I love the way he is. He tells you, the worst case scenario, which is maybe the way everybody should go. Always go with the worst case scenario, and if it doesn't work like that, there's always a plan B. So I'm thinking, oh my God, would I ever be able to do that again? So let me tell you guys, this is something that is going on non-stop in my house right at this minute. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody is waiting to see what we are going to decide. But right now, I think, I am just too exhausted, too tired to think about it. When I think about it, I want to cry. I'm so happy, but I want to cry because, I'm ahead. I cannot say I'm no further ahead. I'm ahead. I have a doctor who says, if I was 43, he wouldn't even help me. But thank God, I just turned 42 today, and he said he can help me. So the decision is, okay, whether we go or not, whether we want to spend 20 grand on 1 out of 4 chance to bring home a baby. So you know what? When you go to bed tonight, think about us, because there are us over here in Canada, here on the East Coast, who are probably not gonna sleep long, who have a lot to think about. So again, thank you again, guys, for watching. And I don't know what I am going to do. See you later.